Welcome back to the show. You're tuned in to DXB Today. Hope you're enjoying the show as we try and inspire you to take on a new challenge in life, to achieve those goals that you thought you might never achieve. Now, I don't know if our next guests are a little bit crazy or they just love a good challenge, but these two adventurers are gearing up to complete, get this, 7 marathons on 7 continents within, of course, 7 days, in one of the world's toughest endurance running challenges ever set. Please welcome to the show Paris Norriss and James Elliot-Square. Gents, thanks very much indeed. Good to see you as always.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Well, I know where I'm going to start. I've heard about the 777 challenge, but that's up there in a big plane and things like that on a long-haul flight. You're taking on a completely different 777 challenge, the 777. Paris, why?
Well, I'm bad at saying no, and he asked me to do it. I mean, that's the truth of it. You know, there's obviously a challenging element to the running side of it. But when James did come up with the idea, and I thought, well, this could be interesting because the first place we're going to go to is Antarctica. That's a place not many people have been. I thought that would be really interesting to see, even though we're only going to be there for less than a day, and then we're going to be on to the next one, and effectively it's going to be a tumble dryer of cultures, not knowing which way's up and where we are and what time it is and which time zone we're on. So it's going to be, you know, an interesting experience, certainly something that I'll be able to always tell as a good story, and you know, I like creating little videos out of these things as well.
James, your packing is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think luckily we've got one of the events in Dubai, so we've got a home leg, so to speak. So we're going to have 2 bags. So we're going to have one that we can just pick up and just go for the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you as well, how do you mentally prepare and physically prepare yourself for something like this? Because it's quite challenging, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest point, the mental side.
Yeah.
The physical side, I think we've got on point. Luckily, I had a lot of base level fitness before coming into this, so it was more the mental. I've been in the business world for a long time, and I've understood that basically to succeed is not just about motivation or talent, it's actually about grit and determination. I think that's the key here. I think the grit and determination to get us through. As Paris said,
Yeah.
it's 7 days, you're in a tumble dryer effect, you don't know where you're at.
Yes.
But if you can make sure that you're just focused, laser focused, understanding where you want to get to and enjoy the journey, you can get through most things.
I've generally found, having done big challenges before, the body will adapt to whatever the mind tells it to do.
Yeah.
At some point it goes, oh, hang on, this is different. This isn't a normal day. Something's different here. So your body will adapt. The question is, when it comes to mental resilience, it really matters what is your reason why, because that's effectively going to pull you through. If this is really part of your life purpose to do this, it's not just an idea you had for a bit of fun. That it was actually something that was part of your bigger vision, then you don't give up and you will adapt to it.
Amazing. I know you both for doing different challenges and doing different sporting activities, but marathons? I don't know you to do a marathon, and James, I don't think have you done marathons before?
Okay, so I've done 1 marathon before in 2015, and I said I would never run another one. So don't know how I fell into this.
And I've done an official marathon in the Dubai one in 2011. Since and this year, I've done quite a few unofficial ones, and no one watching, and there's no medal around your neck when you finish it. So, well, let's see what happens in these.
Who are you doing it for?
That's a great question. We're doing it for underprivileged children, children that have been through absolutely horrific circumstances, trafficked, violence in the home, orphaned, from impoverished backgrounds. I was lucky enough to actually see some of them in a workshop when I was out on a Hong Kong trip with the company, and actually seeing the faces and the behaviours of these kids coming in at the start to when we finished the workshop was transformational. So what we're doing it for is a fantastic why. I'm a father of 2, so it really hits home.
When is it?
31st of January would be the starting point in Antarctica. So only,
Not cold then, is it?
yeah, it's going to be pretty chilly.
And the thing is, I remember, like, obviously, Paris, last time I saw you was in a staircase, and we were running up a flight of stairs.
That's right,
Yeah, and that was a challenge in itself. And I was doing that as an individual, and I bumped into you there, which was fantastic. But you've got each other on this. So when you're doing something together, it clearly helps, right? When you're doing this.
Yeah, I think so. You know, look, James is really quite an incredible athlete, and he's been on my case. His training level, because he started at a much higher level of fitness, has been, you know, beyond mine, which has helped to push me, because, you know, having someone lead by example certainly helps. But also, you know, a lot of the difficulty is going to be what we do in the 18 hours in between each marathon, and we're going to be resting on an aeroplane and you know, keeping each other going, and, you know, just sort of sharing our problems might help.
Yeah.
Shed a few tears.
Yeah,
along the way.
It might go that way.
Shoulder to cry on. You need that, don't you?
Yeah.
Quick one about the sort of wider question we're asking today on the show. Using Dubai as a platform, using this part of the world to challenge yourself, taking on challenges that you might not otherwise have taken on. Do you think there's something in that?
I do. I think what's interesting about Dubai is that we have the opposite weather advantage to the rest of the world, in the sense that our winters are fantastic. So leading up to this, coming into, you know, the end of January, we'll be coming out of, you know, 3 months of amazing weather, where most of the rest of the world would have, have gone through a cold winter maybe. So there's that part, but, you know, we've been running up and down the beaches here, you know, getting our training in and seeing just how many other people are running these days and getting involved. So many people. I remember when I said I did that marathon in 2015, I think the Kite Beach running track had just been built and there weren't so many people on it, but now everybody's out there and active, and so it's good because it inspires other people, and seeing other people doing that inspires you.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think if we can help just one person be inspired to I know, dust off their trainers, whether it be running, rowing, walking, whatever it might be, to get fitter and healthier, then it's great. And I think that fits well with, you know, Dubai 30-30 at the moment.
Yes, true.
Almost out of time, but just very quickly on that though. I mean, because obviously we talked a lot about the fitness side of things and the physical side of things, but in terms of setting yourself a challenge like this, support from sponsors, support from organisations, encouragement from bodies as well. Is that something that's unique to this part of the world?
Look, it can't be done without all of that.
Okay.
So it's a massive, massive team effort. Sponsors, people who are willing to support for the charities, the media to help us get it out there, get the message out there, and just the fact that people here generally are positive and like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, they want to see you do
What can we
well.
do? Yeah.
And if that is actually hitting that nail on the head, if people want to get involved, it's not just about supporting the charity, it's not just about supporting us and the challenge, but it's also about helping themselves as well get some exposure, because we are going to be able to get this exposure for them, so they're going to be able to network, and this city is fantastic for that.
Yeah.
This is it. We're all rooting for you. Nice one, man. We'll stick around. We'll give a chat later. We're taking a break, but next up, when we come back, we'll be meeting a 16-year-old freestyle snowboarder who is the UAE's top winter sport athlete. See you in a bit.